Good evening and welcome to the Poets Cafe, the art of conversation. It is where artists comes alive. The spoken word brings forth the inner creations of hidden treasure, expressing tones of lyrics felt within the soul, a vibration that rings stories untold. This platform represents artists of all backgrounds through various forms of expression, including writers, singers, spoken word artists, and those engaging in artistic expression through painting, literature, poetry, and a journey through life. Mystery seeks to bring new ideas and opportunities to the mind at all levels. Wherefore my time leaving tomorrow on the wings of yesterday, where birds fly higher than the mystery of dreams never knew. Why do mellow sounds ring silently without ever leaving memories of my lonely blues? We walk by the calls of nature, sing in harmony, pray for the love of the skies, dance with the stars like a feminine ballerina, gazing across the stage in a soft-toed ballerina shoe. Welcome to the Artists of Poetry Cafe show, Poetically Speaking, hosted by Terry Benjamin and Ron C. McCrae. As delighted as we are, we can't wait to embark on a new wave of presenting this platform to our audience. So, sit back and enjoy. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button. Now, let's get started.
Just a few things before we actually get started. Is our engineer for this afternoon is Brother Jeff. Also, we want to acknowledge some of our very important people out there, those who encourage us here on the program, and we want to give some shout-outs to those particular people. What's going on, Sylvia Carter? What's going on, Wayne Spikes? What's going on, Benjamin Thomas? What's going on, Deborah Liscombe? What's going on, Jane Small? What's going on, Robert Cabbage Stalk? What's going on, Carla Alvarez Abdullahi? What's going on, Yvonne Tomlinson? What's going on, Raymond DeVoe? What's going on, Isu Canty? What's going on, Delaney Wallace? What's going on, Deborah Dozer? What's going on, Lynn Spencer? What's going on, Sabora Zoku? What's going on, Tafika Harris? What's going on, Jacob Martin? What's going on, Barbara Bowles, Valentine Gordon? What's going on, Benita Floyd Ward? What's going on, Harry Mars? What's going on, Larry Crawley? What's going on, Daniel Duncan? What's going on, Lynn Spencer? What's going on, Monty Bibliophile? What's going on, Chanel Gilmore? And we take time to do that because we really appreciate you being out there. And we really appreciate the fact that you taking time out of your schedule to give us some time to hopefully enlighten you and hopefully give you some food for thought. Today's agenda: a dream deferred is not a dream denied, which means in essence that sometimes we want things to happen and they don't happen the way that we think that they should happen, or they don't happen as fast as we think they should happen, but it doesn't mean that that dream is over. As a matter of fact, it may be denied. It may be just held up for a little bit. The quote of the day is, many of life's failures are people who did not realize how close they were to success when they gave up. And this is from Thomas Edison, who I consider a genius inventor, and understand that many of his inventions came from experiments where he saw, okay, that's not going to work, this is not going to work, and kept on doing it until he got it right. So again, if you have a dream within you that you want to realize, don't give up so quickly. Don't think that it's not going to happen because it hasn't happened overnight. Maybe it might take some time. So with all that said, again, we welcome you. We cherish you. We appreciate you. And in the words of Bill Withers, he says, value the people that value you. As always, we open up our show here with Ron's poetry. And I don't know what he's going to say, what he's going to do, but I know one thing is going to be authentic. And this is Ron's poetry. And Ron, what do you have for us today?
Well, first, I'd like to say a lot of the. First of all, I'd like to also comment and commend each and every person that my brother just shouted out, and those who have not given us your name or identity. Doesn't matter, but we really, truly appreciate the whole entire audience, for listening, to chiming in, because, like I always said, it inspires us as we continue to inspire you. So again, collectively, it's what's important, because many pieces without a body serves no purpose. Right. Okay. So I also want to read this. As a matter of fact, some of those names sound familiar. I don't know now. I didn't do anything wrong. So.
Yes.
I want to read this piece. This is coming from the Bible, King James. And as I said, the Bible is many books, just like the books you read. Doesn't matter. So I'm not here to get religious on you, and I don't want you to think I'm trying to get religious. But I want to read something that's important, really ties into our show. And this is coming out of the book of James. James 3rd chapter, 13th verse. And it states, "Who is a wise man and endure with knowledge among you? Let him show out of good conversation. His works with meekness and of wisdom. But if ye have bitter envying and strife in your heart, glory not. And heed not against the truth. This wisdom descendeth not from above, but is earthly, sensual, devilish. For where envying and strife is, there is confusion and every evil work. But the wisdom that is from above is first pure, then peaceful, gentle, and easy to be entreated, full of mercy and good fruits, without partiality and without hypocrisy. And the fruits of righteousness is sown in peace of them that make peace." And as we know, we talk about it, poetry speaking, the art of conversation. It's about how do we speak to one another. As a matter of fact, in Sunday school today, I was part of the conversation with the student. How do you bring peace to somebody? How do you have a good conversation? How do you lift someone else up? And that's what's important, no matter how you look at it. It's about how do you have a heart of harmoniously, entreating into somebody else's life. That's what's important.
Yes.
Lift someone else up, because we are here not to put you down, but to lift you up. So we welcome you to continue to comments and chime in, to listen to, because you lift us up, and that's what it's all about.
Yeah. And again, we thank you for being out there. As a matter of fact, just projecting into the new year, we're going to have some events at the Roby Public Library that we're going to invite you, our very important people. As a matter of fact, we have a young lady here who's just, Sister Amira Shabazz, which is one of our guests. She says, "Hey, guys." Hey, Amira. Hey, you can come back anytime you want. All right. So, again, because we had a really great program with her, Ron, and she was very enlightening and also inspiring. That's Amira Shabazz Bilal.
We have a guest today, and as we always say, before I get into it, but I just want to give this short introduction that at this point I'm going to hold up, because I want to read something else to you. We recognize everyone by their titles and position, but as a whole, we always say this is family, so we call each other our brother and our sister.
That's right.
No matter how you look at it. So today we have a guest, which is our brother today. You will hear from him, and before you do, I will read an introduction. Before I read the introduction, I just want to read something else to you, because as you indicated in reference to part of today's agenda, a dream deferred is not a dream denied. And so let me read this. A dream denied. And this is important. Don't lose your dream, your vision, your opportunity. And as my brother said, many have given up and lost that opportunity because they came so close, but they was impatient. Patience is a virtue. You got to have patience. And the pastor today was talking about, Dr. Edwin was talking about, the foundation of today's message was about hope. Do you have hope? But you can't have hope unless you have faith, and you can't have faith unless you believe. So if you believe, then hope will come. Faith is the substance of things hoped for. All those who read the Bible, the Quran, or Torah, no matter how you look at it, any book you pick up, it's about you having hope. Don't give up. A dream denied. A dream denied is when someone fails to fulfill their desire. Where there is no vision, my people perish. Proverbs 29:18. Or Hosea 4:6. My people perish for the lack of knowledge. Do you think? How do you think? And what do you think about? Thinking is the foundation of the brain. Do you think? As far as the eyes can see. This serves as a metaphor for what one believes is possible and is determined to achieve their goal. It involves turning and fleeting towards or dream into reality. One sees fit, but deciding that life has value and pursuing passion that resonate deep within the soul. Nothing is denied unless one fails to act on a thought, then it becomes a corpse, ultimately unfulfilled. Only a lazy mind to see the great opportunity that awakens each of us. Wisdom and knowledge are the homes of dreams. Think and grow rich. Rise and move forward on a feeling. Go where freedom lies, where the boundary is limitless. As far as your eyes can see, are you looking? God said, as far as your eyes can see, journey towards it and don't look back. Tomorrow is not promised. Yesterday is gone. Now is the time to act and create one of the heart's desire. What are you craving? What is it that you so yearn for? And what is it or has held you back except self? What excuse did you come up with for the brakes locking up, causing you to slide off into a ravine, stranded with no one to call for help? Where is the survival instinct? Has it kicked in, or has laziness just become your relative's family reunion where complacency and I wouldn't do that syndrome thrive? There's nothing worse than hearing that from somebody. I wouldn't do that. Life is a one-way journey. Hope on a ride that waves of fulfillment, bringing it to life as if you are experiencing Disneyland roller coaster for the first or 100th time. Fear resides in walking on thin layers of uncertainty, but faith is a key to reaching the other side, where joy, excitement, laughter, and no regrets awaits those who act on faith. If you genuinely believe, so get up and move with such a groove. Shout hallelujah, and you might think you have lost your mind. Just smile in the face of jealousy. And that's important, even as you have on here, okay? Many have given up because they came so close to, and yet they was impatient. So it's important. Don't give up.
Don't give up.
I want to go ahead and introduce and recognize our guest today. And I'd like to start here. You know, a man of many talents. This is what's important. A man of many talents. A brother of many talents. He's a DJ, videographer, podcaster, landscaper, business owner, father, husband, and a brother of Groove 5 Groove, the fraternity. This brother in itself, and he's going to make clear. So it's not about how I sound, how I present it, but again, I said this and I presented this out of respect, okay? But this brother's going to give clarity on who he is, what he's about, how he arrived to this point, and his journey that never ends. Because again, as long as we are still breathing, we have a far way to go. The boundary is endless, so no matter how you look at it. So the person, this brother I just presented to you, this brother's name is BRIAN COX. BRIAN COX. One and only. There's no other.
There's no other.
The original, BRIAN COX.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you, guests, for coming on. Hopefully some of you got the link, and you come on over, and please share your likes and your love, and make sure that you continue to support this podcast, because it definitely has a lot of uplifting current and things that are actually out there that are happening in the world. So I'm going to let the host actually lead with the questioning, but just to give you a quick 30-second who I am.
Yes,
so I'm
yes.
all of those things that you mentioned, Ron.
Thank you.
And I want to just say this, that the belief of a dream is not deferred if you keep pursuing it. It only becomes deferred when you either drop it or you let it go. So with that, let's go right into the questioning.
Okay, I want to just before we begin, I want to give you one of these. 'Cause we truly honor you, brother. You know, I've known you for many years, and we worked on different projects together, which has been definitely for me a very good experience. And the thing that I guess where I want to start is, you know, I think one of the things that I like about Brian is that Brian has been very consistent in what he's been doing, and the things that he's been doing for quite some time. And I think a lot of times we look for people to put us on, to get us to where we need to be. But Brian, one of the things that I really respect about you is that you have been a business owner for some time. And when did you become a business owner, and what is your business?
Well, if you want to start back before I became actually legitimate through the state of New Jersey and certified through the federal government.
Look out.
Actually, in high school, it started with selling lollipops. That's where it began, you know.
All right.
And the teachers would always say, "You can't sell them during class." I said, "Okay." And as soon as he turned his back, I was trying to sell lollipops. So the entrepreneur spirit has been with me forever. So, but in reference to actually making this thing become a reality and becoming legit, 2013. Is when I actually started the landscaping business. Long before that, I actually had a production company where I did videography, I did DJing, I did lighting, I did sound reinforcement. So a lot of people have touched me, and I've touched a lot of people. So it's been a long time, for sure.
But the thing is that you've been consistent. You know, you got something, and it is still going to this day. So my question to you is, what makes you stick with it? What makes you say, you know what, I'm going to do this and make it a business? Obviously, this is the business that feeds your family.
So let me ask you a question.
Yes.
If I tell you that I could pay you $40,000 a year, and that's going to be your max salary for the next 5 to 10 years, or you can go out and make $100,000, which option would you choose?
Well, you know, that's a trick question.
Yeah.
It's a trick because some people say, oh, $40,000 a year, that's good. But there's another person say, well, you know what? I want to make more. But the thing, and you know, Brian, and you know, Ron, as well as everybody who is maybe listening, there are people who won't make that leap. Now, everybody can't be an entrepreneur. Let's understand that.
Correct.
And because they can't be that, for them, you know, it's a question that's kind of hard. For me, it's not hard because I'm the person that I want to make the max that I can, but I'm willing to put in the work.
Well, here goes the reality,
Yes,
right?
please.
Is that most of us, even if we're not an entrepreneur, we have entrepreneur spirits.
Okay.
And let me tell you why. Because how many people do you know that out there that have a job that they work 9 to 5, then they come home and they do something else?
That's right.
They
That's
do
right.
podcasting.
Yeah.
They bake cakes.
Of course.
You know, they set up parties.
Yes,
They're a party
yes,
planner.
yes,
They're a DJ on the weekends.
Yes.
So most of us have already had that because back in the day, my father worked 3 jobs, right?
Oh, okay.
And I understood that. And I didn't understand why he worked so many jobs. And I said when I got older, I would never work that many jobs. But at one point in my life, I worked 3 jobs. I'm like, what the heck happened? But the reality is that I've never made as much money as I make now than I made when I worked for somebody else.
Of course.
And then the reality is that I set my own agenda. When I want to go to work,
That's even better.
I have freedom of choice. I got people that work for me.
Yes.
And those people can cover when I'm not there. That is what you want. And everybody says in business that the one thing you're supposed to do in business is create yourself out of your job.
Okay.
And when they say that, they're not saying that you want to lose your job, but you want to promote yourself to go to the next level. So you should be training somebody to take your place. That's what this is all about. That's what this is all about.
Yeah, but again, like I said, it takes a certain amount of discipline. It takes a certain amount of creativity. And also it takes a certain amount of leadership. You know, again, like I said, I've known you for decades. And I've always found you to be someone who really is sort of ahead of the curve. And you've always sort of been community oriented. I mean, everything that you do is of a benefit to the community, whether it be landscaping, whether it be DJing, whether it be videography, that kind of thing. Now, I just want to land on your connection to Job Corps, because I know that you've been involved with Job Corps for some time. Now, looking at today's political landscape, how is Job Corps doing now? Do we still have Job Corps?
Job Corps is still around.
Okay.
Matter of fact, just the other day, we fed over 200 mouths.
Beautiful.
We were actually at Stillman School.
Mm-hmm.
I actually asked Job Corps to help me out with the preparation of the food,
Mm-hmm.
and their culinary program,
Oh, beautiful.
second to none, actually cooked all the food.
Mm-hmm.
I went there and picked it up, and then when I picked it up, I brought it back to the school, and we fed families. We had a DJ there that played some music. We had staff members. We had Swing Fi Swing Social Fellowship. We had Groove Fi Groove Social Fellowship Incorporated, and then we also had the administrators from that school. This is our third year.
Wow, that's beautiful.
So
That's
third
beautiful.
year
Yeah,
feeding
yeah,
people.
yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I'm saying?
yeah,
This
that's
is
right.
what community service is all about. You can't take none of this with you.
Mm-hmm.
So you better leave some on the table for somebody else to grow. But it all started from my mother and my father. And that's what actually got me to the point where I'm actually out there doing things and trying to help other individuals. And not only do I help on that side, but I also help the community because I put a lot of individuals to work.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And those individuals that may not have the same opportunity that they have with me, because I'm more tolerant, if you know what I mean.
I know what you
I'm
mean.
more
I know-
tolerant,
I know
right?
what you mean.
But the
I
reality
know
is
what you
that
mean.
if you're in the community, be about the community. And if you're about the community, it's going to show up. And all of these things that I do, it's not because it's necessarily benefiting me right away, but the bottom line is that everybody gets to grow. The community gets to grow. I get to grow. I make connections. They make connections. And the bottom line, look, I'm on this podcast, right?
That's right. Yeah. yeah.
Because of the connections that you and I started back with rap music as literature,
That's right.
where we toured up and down the turnpike,
That's right, yeah.
going to high schools and performing on stage. And you came out as the Nutty Professor. He wasn't a Nutty Professor, but he came out dressed in regular clothes. Then he was in a suit and tie.
right.
Then he went backstage. Then he came out with his Feli. Was it Feli back then, or was it
Hat on
Adidas?
backwards.
Hat on
Feel like-
backwards.
yeah.
Yeah. So the reality is that the relationships that you make are the relationships that will help you grow, and that's what this is all about.
Yeah.
That's why a dream deferred is not often lost if you stay on top of it and pursue it. Right, Ron?
Yeah.
No matter how you look at it, and it's also about, and we talk about it, and you're absolutely correct, it's about having a desire.
Yeah.
You know, you might be satisfied with 40,000, but do you have a desire to go beyond that 40,000 to reach other side?
Yes.
No matter how you look at it, because even if $100,000, no matter how much you earn or how much you think you have, it's up to you to live your life to the fullest. So what makes you happy and bring happiness to you? And I also want to tap into what the brother just said. You see, because in Philippians 2 and 3, lift someone else up better than yourself.
That's right.
Also, it's about the connection. We say it all the time. Many pieces, but one body. But if those pieces don't come together, you don't have a body to help and connect with somebody else, to lift somebody else, to push somebody. But if you say, no, I don't want to go any further, that's fine. If you're happy where you're at, that's fine. But then don't look for somebody to come back and help you out of a situation.
Ooh,
no
that
matter
is
how you
true.
look at it.
That is true.
Keep moving. Because again, as the brother said, it's about the connection. He is here because of the connection. Terry and I met years ago. It's about the connection. But we have different talents. We learn and we meet each other at different points in time to learn from each other. As a matter of fact, just in short, even earlier when there was a conversation, I said, I'm a student. I'm listening and learning what somebody else was doing.
That's right.
Doesn't matter how much I know, it's how much I can learn from somebody else's.
Yeah, and Brian, you were talking about community, but you also were talking about fraternity, and I know fraternity means a lot to you. Would you speak about that? Because people need to know about that.
I'm going to correct that real quick because if any of my groove brothers or swing sisters out there listening, it's Groove Fi Groove Social Fellowship Incorporated.
Uh-oh,
So we're
look at
not
it.
of the
Look at it.
fraternal nature, even though we kind of follow that to a certain extent.
Okay.
But what we basically do is we make sure that a big part of what we do is our community service. So we have to get out there and make sure that we are engaging in our community. We also believe in the fellowshipping of the brotherhood. So that's why we get together and we do a lot of things. Heck, last month, October, I just got to look at the months because the months are going by so
It goes
fast.
so fast, right?
We
Yeah.
actually had tailgated at Rutgers homecoming, and what we did is we fed the students for free.
Oh,
we spent
beautiful.
a lot of money, and we fed the students at the homecoming, and they were there to party, but we made sure that they were not hungry while they partied. In addition to that, every 4th of July, we do a cookout in the park, and what we do is we feed people there. So we always are about the community service. We definitely want to make sure that people know about Groove, and that if they're interested in Groove, they can come and be a part of us. And in addition to that, it's just about making sure that we are plugging away, because we are our brother's keeper.
Yeah. That's true.
You know, if I may,
Appreciate that. Yeah.
before you go on,
Yeah.
you know, I like to tap into, because the brother says something that's really true, and I'm a firm believer, no matter how you look at it. And I want to be honest with you, because one of the biggest issues is not taking away those who come together trying to make a difference, but it's those who's part of the body who refuse to do their part of that body. And the body's foundation is community service. Yes, you know, I'm part of the fraternity, the Ancient Friend Accepted Masons. But the bottom line is, I stand and tell them the same thing. We don't come together as a whole. It doesn't matter what jurisdiction. It's about one body.
Yes.
No matter how you look at it. God didn't organize or call one over the other. It's about one body, no matter how you look at it. So, yes, I agree with you. We should be banding together and joining. It doesn't matter whether you're this fraternity or that fraternity. It doesn't matter. Can we come together to do the betterment of the community, to help somebody else less fortunate? And that's what's important.
Amen.
Yeah, that's really important. And I want to move on to a segment of the program we call Mind, Body, and Books. And in that particular segment, we bring books to you. Now, these books have something in common. And the thing that they have in common is that these are family members working together. This book here that I want to show to you and maybe encourage you to read is called Exit Strategy. And this is by Lee Child and Andrew Child. They are brothers, and they wrote, this is a Reacher novel. If you have Prime Video, you know there's a series called Reacher, based on over 30 books by this particular author, Lee Child. And now he's working with his brother, Andrew, and they're doing some great work in terms of this series of books. Another book I want to present to you is a father and son. And the name of this book is The 10 Men. And this is a novel by Nelson DeMille and Alex DeMille. Now, the father, Nelson DeMille, passed away last year. But this writing is continuing. And I just want to just share this from the note to the reader. It says here, when my father first asked me to be a co-author with him back in 2017, he lied and assured me that it would be easy. I knew there was a deeper truth beneath the facetious comment. He trusted me. He believed I could do it and could do it well. And so, again, we're 2025. There's been like 5 books that they've written together. This is the latest. Unfortunately, the father is no longer with us. But again, a book called The 10 Men. And I want you to check these books out because, again, we encourage what we call the habit of literacy. And what we suggest is that every week that you read 2 books, a fiction book and a nonfiction book. And we want you to do that. I want to move to the next segment, and this is called Music is Lit. And this is where I share music and I share the lyrics. And this segment is very special to me for a number of reasons. And one of the reasons is that the first song I'm going to read is from now one of our ancestors, a brother who just passed, a brother named Jimmy Cliff. And again, probably known from the song The Harder They Come and also the music, The Harder They Come. And Jimmy Cliff wrote this particular song in 1969. Now, around the 3 songs that I'm going to read, they're sort of connected by water. And so I want to read this first song, poem, from Jimmy Cliff, and it's called Many Rivers to Cross. And it says here, many rivers to cross, but I can't seem to find my way over. Wandering, I am lost. I travel along white cliffs of Dover. Many rivers to cross, and it's only my will that keeps me alive. I've been licked, washed up for years, and I merely survive because of my pride. Oh, that loneliness won't leave me alone. It's such a drag to be on your own. My woman left and she didn't say why. Well, I guess I'll move. I'll just have to try. Many rivers to cross. Many rivers to cross, but just where to begin. I'm playing for time. There'll be times I find myself thinking of committing some dreadful crime. I've got many rivers to cross, but I can't seem to find my way over. Wandering, I am lost. Many rivers to cross as I travel along the white cliffs of Dover. And this, again, is about losing a love and trying to find that love. But again, it could be a love of humanity, a love of ourselves. The second song that I want to recite is very well-known song. I'm sure people have heard it. And it's called Bridge Over Troubled Waters. And this was actually written in 1971 by Paul Simon. But for me, the definitive reading of this song is from Roberta Flack. And so as I read it, I want you to think of Roberta Flack singing this song. And it's called Bridge Over Troubled Waters. And it reads, when you're weary, feeling small, when tears are in your eyes, I'll dry them all. I'm on your side when times get rough and friend just can't be found. Like a bridge over troubled waters, I will lay me down. When you're down and out, when you're on the street, when everything falls so hard, I will comfort you. I'll take you apart when darkness comes and pain is all around. Like a bridge over troubled waters, I will lay me down. Sail on, silver girl, sail on by. Your time has come to shine, and all your dreams are on the way. See how they shine? If you need a friend, I'm sailing right behind. Like a bridge over troubled waters, I can ease your mind. Like a bridge over troubled waters, I can ease your mind. And the last song that I want to read is in this book of poetry. And that's why I say, for me, poetry and music is all the same. This brother here, Gil Scott Heron, one of my favorite poets. You know, again, a brother who, I mean, he did so much in the area of poetry and music. And that I really, really, really appreciate it, even more so today. And this is poem that he wrote is called A Toast to the People. And I dedicate this to our VI people who I shout out today, all who are watching us, all that will watch us. Again, the toast to the people is a toast to you from Gil Scott Heron. It says here, and though it's been too long and too many years have passed, and though the time has gone, the memories still hold fast. Just as strange as it seems, we still live in the past, the essence of black life lost in the hourglass. And ever since we came to this land, this country has ruled the day when we would stand as one and raise our voices and say, you know, there won't be no more killings and no more talk of class, and your sons and your daughters won't die in the hourglass. A toast to David Walker, a toast to Martin King, a toast to all the leaders who had a golden dream, a toast to all the black fathers who lived their lives in vain, a toast to all black mothers who shouldered their life in pain, a toast to the people, and a toast to you out there listening to us and watching us. And as you know, the last part of our programs, we really expand with our guests and with our conversation is the art of conversation, and here is called Food for Thought. And in this Food for Thought segment, we'll be talking about the 4 E's: entertainment, education, enlightenment, and empowerment. And this 4 E's was actually inspired by our guest today, because he had a podcast called the 4 E's that he'll tell us a little bit about. But Brian, when you came with the program, and I was so honored to be a guest on that particular program. And so the 4 E's sort of stayed in my mind. And as we go further I just want you to take a moment to tell us about the podcast and break down the 4 E's. What are the 4 E's?
Well, the 4 E's is all about empowerment. Okay. That's what it's all about, right? I have to give a shout out to Shireen Clark, who was my co-host at that time. And the 4 E's came about because that was the time when the pandemic had just hit. And actually, we came on right before the pandemic, and then the pandemic hit, and we was like, how are we going to pivot and how are we going to turn? But it was always about taking individuals and trying to go into what made them exist, what gave them the empowerment, the enlightenment, to actually go out and reach after their goals and objectives. So we had people on there from doctors to DJs to individuals that worked in film. We had you on there, Terry. So we had a person that works in the city, Lenny Cathcart, who was on there. We had a lot of individuals that came onto the podcast, and what we basically wanted to do at that time was the infant stages of when I started learning about podcasting, right? That was when we went out and I bought equipment and Shireen had equipment and we put ourselves together and we just did that out of her studios. So what happened with all of that is that it just gave us an opportunity to always look upon the positive things, because that's what it's all about, right? We can always talk about negative things, but then that becomes a dream deferred, right? You know what I'm saying, right, Ron? So you got to talk about the positive things, because of the positive things are what are going to accent and what's going to keep people around you. If you become a very negative person, nobody wants to be around a negative person. How many of us have individuals that are around us that we're like, okay, I'll get back to you, and you don't get back to them because they're negative? So you want to be around positive things, and that's what the 4 E's was all about, and that's what made us strive to reach out and touch individuals that could share their stories, share their experiences, and share what it means to be kind of enlightened about how you're going to move through life.
Yeah, that's beautiful, Brian. And again, like I said, brother, you always was sort of ahead of the curve, because when I was doing your podcast, I wasn't even nowhere near what I'm doing right now. Because you got to understand, it. I was at that time. I think I was the guest on a podcast called the Unapologetic Advocate Looking for Experts, and it's so funny because I was a guest on that podcast, and then I became a co-host. And then I got into what we're doing right now with my friend Ron. But it's so funny, coming full circle. Ruby Shira's got us all started, and recently he was a guest on her podcast, because she's still doing the podcast. And so I'm saying the thing that I like about the three of us is that we just have become consistent in what we're doing. And so again, when we talk about a dream deferred, when we talk about a bridge over troubled waters, when we talk about so many rivers to cross, it's a beautiful thing. Here I have, I think it's Jayneb says yes. She says here, ain't it the truth always was and always will be, bridge over troubled waters, speak the truth now. And it says here is JVHANUB. So, and then preach the truth. So I'm not really sure who that person is, but again, I thank you for your comment. And Ron, what say you about the 4 E's?
First, I missed one of the E's. What is I know it's education, entertainment, and empowerment.
And enlightenment.
Enlightenment. Yeah. And that is absolutely so important. And I have a book, one of the textbooks from school, Western Civilization, and in there it talks about the Enlightenment. About people from different levels of education came together to have a dialogue, how to move forward collectively. And this is so important. The 4 E's. Education. Education is all around you. It's how you learn, how you receive something, and how you pass something on. The Bible talks about in all thy ways get an understanding. No matter how you look at it, it's not about criticizing and negativity. Like the brother said, we talk about all the time. We're not here about raw stuff and negative stuff. We hear about something positive. Entertainment. How do we entertain each other and entertain ourselves, our health and wellness, and moving forward to have fun, laugh, and everything else, no matter how you look at it. And enlightenment. I mean, again, All that ties into the empowerment. Lift someone else up better than yourself. Has nothing to do with you, because as we was talking about, it doesn't matter how old you are or how young. The fact that you can't do everything by yourself. When you need help, you stand around looking at somebody to help you. But if you got, that's only when you got a bad attitude. But if you got a positive attitude, somebody will always be there to help you. But pass it on.
Draw people in.
Amen.
Yes. And Brian, one of the things that I like about you is the fact, again, you've always been upbeat, man. You know, I'm sure you have your ups and downs, but I never seen you be negative, you know, which is a beautiful thing, you know. And the thing that I also like about that, when you, on your Facebook page, you talk about all your accomplishments, you know, in business and whatnot, but the thing that you also put down is husband and father. And I just want to take a moment for you to speak about why is fatherhood so important to you, you know?
Well, I have one biological.
Look at
I have one that adopted me as a father. Then I have two by marriage. So
okay.
the reality is that you got to mentor individuals, because what you want for your children is that they have a better life than what you had, right?
Yes.
And that's the goal for everyone that are raising children, for their children to be better off than what they've gone through, all right? And sometimes what we want to do, most of the times what we want to do, all the times what we want to do is to make sure that our kids have a good leg up when they're going out there to reach some of the challenges. You know what your father used to always say to you? Your father would say to you, don't do that, and don't do this, because that's going to result in that.
Right.
And then you had to go out there and learn that all of those things that he was telling you actually has some validity. And, you know, and then until you bumped your head and you got a knot on your head, you didn't realize that what he was saying to you was the reality. So being a father, being a husband is definitely it keeps me grounded, right? And you need grounding, because no matter how high and lofty you get, you got to come back down sometime. And you got to be able to have people that meet you and know you and can and be there for you to support you as you get ready to get picked back up. And don't think, I don't want anybody to misunderstand all the things I've said. I've had my challenges, right? We all have our challenges. But if you don't keep pushing on the dream, Ron, which you talked about, then you're never going to know how close you are to success. And those individuals that fail, it's because they haven't pushed through the next door. And we're not going to do that on this podcast.
No,
we're going to keep pushing. No matter what happens, we're going to keep pushing.
Brother, you know that. And again, before we move a little further into the program, now, again, one of the accomplishments that people sort of overlook is marriage. And you've been married for a
25 years.
25 years. And my question to you is, what's the secret of your success? And also, who is your mate?
The love of my life is
Look out.
Sharon Phillip Cox.
Look
all right? And Sharon is a good wife. Right? She keeps a good home, and she goes to work, and she makes her money, and she helps me help her help me help us. You know what I'm saying? Don't ever think that it don't come that way. Help me help her help us, help me help her help, and she helps me. So the reality is that because she has believed in me and I believed in her, that this marriage has been, not that it ain't had its challenges, don't get me wrong, but it's been a lot of happiness, vacations. She keeps me healthy, she keeps me wise, and she keeps me balanced. So you got to have a good mate, whoever that person is, to keep you when you have your down moments, when you're sick, when you're healthy, when you're looking for a dream that has not been met. You got to just keep pushing, and I love my wife for that.
Yeah, well, that's a beautiful thing, and again, and I would be remiss if I didn't mention that, because a lot of times people really take for granted their relationships. And I know for myself that your mate is really important, and it's important that you choose wisely. It is important that you choose well, because I think it's kind of hard in this world to make it by yourself. Now, you can do that, and some of us have no choice in that, but it's so beautiful to have someone who's working with you sort of side by side and shoulder to shoulder. And I know my brother here can attest to that, right?
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, we talked about that before, and I'm glad the brother here mentioned that, because we had several guests, and we often talk about that, and a couple of sisters talk about, you know, in essence, the relationship, the
That's right.
importance of a relationship and supporting a brother. But I want to tap into this brother, what he just said.
Mm-hmm.
And even this comes from the Bible. God said, I will provide you a help meet. Now let's understand something, because we said it before. Everybody talk about a soul mate.
It help me.
A help meet. So I want to tap into what this brother just said, which hey, my sister, you got my support. A help meet. And so I just would like to even read this little bit here. My help meet. There is a need for a binding support system that enables one to many collaborations without being dominated by a few individuals. The power of many outweighs the weakness of depending on a single. Resilience, mind, body, soul, or emotional state to feel the presence of one. When that presence is absent, sadness follows like spilt milk. This brother said it. Help me to help you to help us to help me to help us, no matter how you look at it. Many parts, many pieces, one body. And that's what's important.
That's important.
That's where the joy and the part of health and wellness comes in. I need a help me. My soulmate, just someone who constantly complains, not just someone who constantly complains with endless whining and draining energy like a faucet without realizing the support is gone. Help provide strength to someone who isn't burdened with exhausting all their energy for oneself gain so they can live a life filled with joy. A helpmeet is a valuable asset to those in need. It is someone who recognizes when the burden becomes tough and the yoke seems to weigh down like a boulder rolling at full speed with the force of tons of solid mass, with no relief in sight. Helpmeet exceeds expectation by providing comfort, easing joint strain during tough times, and working to solve problems rather than create new ones. He or she offers solace to the soul after traveling through mountains, valleys, and overcoming many challenges, no matter how big or small. When everything is finally said and done, and after each moment of regaining consciousness, someone is there to soothe the stress of the labor they endure, working together as one in unity. As the eyes curl into starry light gleaming with passion, even with a wraparound comforting embraces, the smile reveals the mystery of the self in a suspenseful novel. Help Me embodies the timeless beauty of love, romance, anger, pain, and tears, full of intense emotion as the sun and moon illuminates each moment, caressing without leading to regret. Every moment is filled with a gentle touch, accompanied by unexpected thoughts that reveals why the mood becomes essential to understanding what a helpmeet truly is. When connected to one's soulmate, the authenticity of original by the hands that provides as promise, stating that man shall not be alone. From him came her. I need a helpmeet. Soft, gentle, masculine, filled with wisdom and knowledge, a book of continuous learning. Lord, Lord, I need a helpmate to soothe and relax my smile of uncertainties, gaining popularities from external sources, moaning that life isn't better alone. So again,
yes, that's important.
That's important. And shows you how the timing is, because again, this is the first time the brother been on here, and the conversation always leads back to something either we talked about, written about, or somebody's crying about or writing about. How do I find not a soulmate? We talk about the soulmate, friends, lovers, and soulmate. But here the importance of the foundation is a helpmeet. That's what's important. Study that, think about it, and listen to this brother continue to come back with the continuation of his helpmeet. We give a lot of credit to that sister. See, because that's what's important.
That's right. Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah, and it's so interesting that, again, people look for relationships, and that's why many of us have been to 1, 2, sometimes 3 marriages, hoping to get it right. But I think one of the things that we try to do on this program, Brian, is try to give people enough information to be critical thinkers. You know, because again, in the final analysis, you got to think for yourself. I can't think for you. I can't make you do something that you don't want to do. And the thing with you that I find, enlightening is the fact that, you're doing the landscaping, but you're doing the DJing. Now, how did the DJing come about?
Well, it all started in the 5th grade. I'm telling you straight.
Yeah, please.
I think her name was Miss Jackson, right? And Miss Jackson was a teacher that actually taught us how to put bread into the heating, where the heaters were in the school, and actually have it rise. So that we actually had bread, and that was some of the best tasting bread I've ever had, right? Because it was at when my mind was open to learn different things that I wasn't familiar with. So that happened. But then she also bought a Radio Shack kit. Right, and with that Radio Shack kit, you could actually build a transition radio, and you could actually turn the knobs and you could listen to WBLS. And I'm like, wow! So that's where it actually started, right? And then my man J.O. lives in Delaware. J.O. came over and he said one day we're going to do a party, and he brought the turntables. So it's back in the day. You remember when we was talking about rap music as religion? We talked about the South Bronx, and then we actually took it all the way to Jamaica. You remember that?
Yes, right.
And so J.O. was at that same tune. He came in, he bought turntables. And I said, that was interesting. So I went to a store. It was called Drucker's back then. And I bought me some 1200s. Actually, I bought me some belt-driven turntables.
Whoa,
that was before the direct turntables. You DJs out there, you know what I'm talking about. Direct turntables versus
DJ
belt-driven. Yeah. Right? And I bought me an amplifier, and I bought me some house speakers, right? Sherwin Vegas. And I just knew in a pyramid mixer, I just knew I was on top of the world. But that's where it all started. And then from DJing, like I said, I went into a lot of other things. But that I had to go back one thing because it was something that was key that I didn't say that I need to say in that last segment.
Of course, yeah, please.
The reason that I think that my brothers are successful with marriage today was because we had a mother and father that stayed together to their dying days. And that was important because it gave us a roadmap. And a lot of times when you're trying to do things in life, look at the roadmap that's in front of you. If you don't look at the roadmaps in front of you, then how are you going to learn?
You can't do it.
Thank you.
Can't do it, yeah.
So,
and before we sort of close out the program, I just wanted to say that, it's been said that success leaves clues. Okay, and so you need to, if you want to be successful, follow the clues.
Blueprint.
Yeah, right.
Jay-Z.
Yeah, right. And the thing is that as we come to almost end of the program, Tony is going to go really fast, and at this time, what we do is we bring Brian back to sort of wrap things up for us. So, Brian, I want to thank you for being on the program. I want to thank Sharon for letting you come out to spend time with us, with the brothers here. But again, I love you, Brian, and I respect you, man.
Can I just get a 30-second plug?
Yes, you can.
All right. Ron, Terry, whenever you guys need me to come in, I'm more than happy to come in. This is a great podcast. I appreciate giving the opportunity to come on and just talk a little bit about me and my Groove 5 Groove Social Fellowship Incorporated. I want to give shout out to all those brothers out there because they actually help me do the things that I do when I go out there to do the things and be an ambassador for the organization. And the reality is, Terry, you pulled a picture when I got honored by the International Office of Groove 5 Groove,
yes.
And that's what you wanted to talk about, and that's because of all of the community service that Central Jersey grad has allowed me to do through the chapter, and that's it. Thank you very much for having me. Just let me know, give me a little notice, and I'll come up with my guns loaded and ready to go forward with the great conversations.
Well, my brother always says, "Be ye ready," and so Ron, be ye ready. So, Brian, take us out of here tonight.
A couple of things in short. There's 2 pieces. I think I have enough time. But anyway, as you know, the conversation, bridge over troubled water.
Okay.
What bridge have you crossed to look down and see the fear of what you believe was troubling, causing you to move forward? What constitute troubled waters? How deep was the illusion that you might drown in a tiny amount of water or a puddle where only the sole of your shoes got wet? What is your experience of crossing a bridge when you were determined to go near the water? Where did the fear originate? How was it formed? Or was it just self-talked about the unknown? A bridge over troubled water. What would it look like if you had to describe the image trapped inside the membranes of who you are? A bridge over troubled water has been the focal point for someone who denied themselves the right to cross over, where life is the home of many possibilities. How hungry are you? Has famine not hit you to the point of fainting in the midst of nothing? Only the fear of not believing in what was created for you. A bridge remains standing on the edge as the water rises. What would you do? Sink, swim, or drown? And then cry later that the bridge set for you is rejected. What effort have you made, or did you depend on someone else's ignorance while still crying for help? Wanting someone else to share your load and burden becomes an excuse for not trying to break the stigma and instead living with the crutch of a disability excuse. There are many layers, heights twisted beyond what the mind can understand. Have you tried or just given up without even attempting to make a difference? Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. To cross over, to reach or see the Father. Moses crossed over, Joshua crossed over, and countless bridges have been built. Where is yours? Did you create one or dismantle the opportunity before it was built? How many crossed the Nile River, the Jordan River, Euphrates rivers, and even the highest bridge in the world? What was troubling about crossing your troubled waters? It's your pond, a metaphor of a relationship. You know, we talk about that, and we talk about in the beginning of the conversation with our guest, our brother, opportunities, your dreams, your visions, and everything coming together, no matter how you look at it. And so we don't have that much time, and there is so much, but let me just give you this title of this one. I won't read it, but I hate to tease you, but nevertheless, let me read you.
We have time, brother. We have time. I got a good 5 minutes.
Okay.
Okay, please. I don't want to cheat our guests and our audience.
Rising to freedom. Rising to freedom is the cultivation of a seed planted in the mind, body, spirit, and soul of life. From the darkness of despair, time seems to shift in the blink of an eye. Wandering from the troubling shades of daily encounters, a condition one must labor through without a breath to spare. Rising to freedom opens up opportunities to appreciate the beauty all around us, as the essence of time enables us to travel the witness all that has granted. From a seed that has been planted, cultivate and grown toward the gleaming skies, absorbing radiant energy, wavering with the power of the sun, swaying in emotion as time mimics the joy deep within the roots, echoing through the hallways where the bubbling seed blossoms, spreading the fruits of its labor. Embrace freedom by letting go of the anger associated with the negative mindset and shedding the physical weight that burdens you, a deep traumatic sense of lostness. Instead, aspire to transformative growth and success, becoming a new version of yourself on the path to freedom and springing back to greatness. The life we live is a life that exists deep within the earth's core, in heaven, and curated with undeniable authenticity by the master who meticulously designed you. Marvel at each moment, a huge smile stretch across the feature as the camera's flash reveals the true image of self-reliance rising without distraction. And the waves of time showcase the true glamour on the front page of Rising magazine, the #1 bestseller on the New York Stock Market Exchange, with no blemishes in sight. only tears of joy that sparkles like the stars in the galaxy deep within the universe core. Rising to freedom is your choice to cross over a bridge of troubled waters.
And this has been Poetically Speaking with yours truly, Terry Benjamin and Ron C. McCrae. The place for the spoken word on VKS Radio TV. Our guest tonight has been Mr. BRIAN COX. And we thank you for tuning in. Ron, you want to say good night?
To all those who have a blessed and safe encounter, your life. Good night. See you again.
Good night.